here we go.
Yeah.
Pause up, everybody. Welcome to Meowy Hour. I'm your host, Arden Moore. This show is presented by the Cat Fancier Association, and it's brought to you by our amazing sponsor, In Clover, the makers of cat and dog supplements. And please join me in giving a big pause and applause to my co-host, All Breeds CFA Judge, Kathy Black, and Destiny, our doggy designee, wearing that cool little pumpkin hat. Thank you, Jill Thompson of Onyx Cat. And Casey goes, you know, me and my ears, can't touch my ears. So I'm kind of getting in the holiday spirit. I'm wearing this little bandana for Halloween. But we have a great trio of guests today, a couple of four-leggers and a very special two-legger. Our special guest today is Tanya Alexis. Welcome, Tanya. And her cats, Mabel and Rosie from LA. And you're like, okay, what's the deal? What's going to happen? This is a multi-talented gal. She's going to show us a little bit about cat yoga. She's going to get into how you can use some of your more untapped intuitive skills. She's a Reiki master. She is a yoga teacher. She's a healing photographer. See that adjective? Healing. That's a very good term. She also has a line of crystal products. And I found her online because she was doing kitty yoga. And she's got two cool cats, Mabel and Rosie, right here. So we welcome you to the show, all three of you, Tanya.
Oh, thank you for having us. Rosie's on the ground, but she'll come up later. She'll make an appearance. She always does.
Trust me, our global audience knows cats. They know that they don't sit, stay, heel, fetch. Well, they fetch when they want to. But what we know is in a few days, it's Halloween. So would you kindly show what Mabel looks like? Or is it Rosie? Rosie.
Well, Mabel has a Halloween costume naturally.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mabel's face. Look at that face.
And then we have Miss Rosie is ready to go for Halloween.
It's Wonder Woman. I love it.
Wonder Woman.
Purr, purr, purr. Hey, to start this show, I need to tell that we need to give a round of pause and applause to several previous guests on Meowy Hour. Saturday night was the annual Cat Writers Association Communication Contest. It's a big deal. It's global. It's international. And it was the 27th annual. And I am happy to report, I'm going to run down a list of people who have been on our show who won for either writing, editing, photography, books, you name it, blogs. And here they go. Let's give a salute. And can you turn the volume up? There you go.
I don't know how to get the volume going. Sorry.
That's okay. Down below, you'll see a little thing. Anyway, this is presented by Elena Graylek. She was a guest on our show. She created these dancing cats. Check it out.
Oh, I think I messed up. Hang on.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I went to the next video.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. What do you think of this, Tanya? Look at this cat moves.
I think it's a pretty good dancing.
I think so too. I know working on my cat moves, Bob Seger, move over, right? So this is what started the show to welcome the Cat Writers Association, these dancing cats. So Elena Graylek, we thank you for letting us use your video. She also won. So let me run down the list. Ready? Teresa Kiger. Yeah! All Breed CFA judge and editor of Cat Talk. Iris Zink. She did an article on FIP cats. Dusty Rainbow. Molly Hunt. She was just on our show. Alana Graylek. Amy Sojai. Paula Gregg. Deb Barnes. Janice Garza. Jenna Kelly. Yassar Nakbendi. Mary Tan, good friend. Annie Butler Sharifs. Emily Hall, and our guest next week, Bernadette Kazmarski. What do you guys think? Give them all a round of applause and applause. And humbly, I have been in this organization 21 years, and my book, A Kid's Guide to Cats, won the best of all, the President's Award. So I think, woohoo! It was a great night, and this just shows how talented people are in different mediums, and they got these international awards. So I want to just take a time to do a shout out to them. We have another thing ripped from the headlines. I want you all to tune in Friday, ABC TV, Shark Tank. Why? Because our good friends who've been on our show, Sterling Davis, AKA Trap King, and Nathan Ken, AKA Nathan the Cat Lady, plus Leah D'Angelo, they are going to be pitching their cat dating app, Tabitha, you ready for it? On Shark Tank. Tanya, what do you think of that? That's a big wow.
I mean, they're pulling out the big guns to get Nathan the Cat Lady. I mean, he's so busy.
He's a rising star as an actor, yeah.
We can't get him on the show because he's too busy acting. And then to get Trap King Davis, Sterling Davis on there too. I mean, they're pulling out the big guns for this.
Well, they're actually going to be pitching 2 dating apps for all you pet people. There's the one called the Tabby app. That's for people who have cats. But they also are doing one called Dig, and that's for the dog people dating apps.
Oh, how funny.
I guess you're going to have to dig Tabby if you have dogs and cats. Or Tabby Dig. All right. Well, I just want to wish them the best on Friday. So everybody put your energy together. Let's get them a deal with one of the sharks or more than one of the sharks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So before we get into the heart of our talk, we've got a little bit of a CFA moment from Kathy, and then we're going to tell you what was the winning answer from last week's trivia. And I'm going to test your knowledge for this Halloween themed trivia question for this week. Take it away, Kathy.
Okay. So I had someone approach me last weekend that's a follower of us, and she said, you know, sometimes it's hard to just find stuff that you need to do on CFA's website. And I thought about this just real quickly. Let's say that you're going to start breeding cats and you need to register a cattery name. So you go to our CFA website, search register cattery name, and there's a whole bunch of rules here. Okay, so you have to go through all these rules, but then you need to search a cattery name index. So let's say that you come up with, you think your cats are foxes. Okay, they're real foxy looking cats. So let's say you want a cattery name that has fox in it. You have to go through all of the other names that are already registered.
Oh, good.
Okay, look at all these names. Okay, and then scroll down to the foxes. Let's get down to the foxes. Here we go. And there's Fox, there's Fox Cove, Fox Burrow, Fox Brush, Fox Bluff, Foxy Cats is my cattery name. So you'll see it right here. So you need to check this first to make sure that your name has already been,
I like that. That's
has not been taken, okay? And if your name has not been taken and it's at least 2 letters different, then you can register your cattery name with CFA. So I just wanted to point that out. Go to our website and you search register a cattery, and then you have to go through all these rules. Okay, it can't have profanity and it can't be, you know, blah blah blah. Okay, and then that's how you search. And then there's a form that you can submit right there online to get your cattery name registered. So that's our little CFA minute for today.
All right, that's a mini version of Google URL domain. Does GoDaddy have it or not? That's what it is.
That's right.
All right, so last week we teased you and tested your knowledge. I asked you about this cat from New Hampshire who hiked all 48 mountains in New Hampshire. Tanya, did you even know there were 48 mountains in that little state of New Hampshire?
I actually am from New Hampshire.
Oh!
So
you probably do know.
I vaguely.
Okay, but that's pretty funny. That's pretty cool. Well, the kitty's name I was asking, which would be either on a leash and harness or be in the kitty's person's backpack. The kitty's name, I tested you, who won? And that kitty's name was Floki, Floki. So the winners, we're going to get the packs of the in clover supplements. We're going to show a picture of that. And also we're giving away 2 autographed copies of cat mystery writer Molly Hunt's books. We thank her for those. And are we doing the 2 knitted caps from Jill Thompson?
Yes.
Thank you, Jill. And that's these that are going. And guys, go to inclover.com. And if you put in Meowy Inclover 21 at checkout, you'll save 10%. So please do that. We really appreciate our sponsor. So who's the big winners, Kathy?
All right. So, yeah, I was busy on Sunday. So, Dawn Swihart, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Dawn. She was our In Clover winner for last week. The 2 winners for the cat hats were Nancy Dion, which I have gotten a hold of, and Jody Vitt with a V. Jody Vitt. You have not responded to my messenger, Jody. So if you're watching today, please send me your mailing address. It's kathy.black@yahoo.com. You can see how my name is spelled. So Jody Vitt and Dawn Swihart and Nancy Dion were the In Clover and the hat winners. Now the book winners, Jamie Brehob gets the Ghost Cat of Ocean Cove book.
Oh, nice.
And Julianne Brooks won the Cat Eyes book. So those were our winners from last week.
All right. Well, congratulations, everyone. Well, in a few days, it's Halloween. So can you show that image? What do you think? I want to get Tanya's response to this. What do you think of this cat?
Oh, yeah. Okay, here it comes. Then get my fingers to click correctly. There we go.
I didn't want an archback cat. What do you think, Tanya? I wanted a cute black cat. What do you think?
I think that it is a very cute black cat.
I love those green eyes too. So, which gets to my trivia question for today and a really bad joke, because Tanya, you don't know me very well, but everybody groans around me. So here comes the joke. What do you call a cat wizard?
A cat wizard?
Wizard. Wait a minute, Casey, what is it? Tell me. Okay. Casey says the answer is Harry Potter.
Potter.
Oh my God. That was really bad.
Tanya's not laughing.
Tanya's like, I don't think I want to be on the show. Okay, so here's the testing of your knowledge. If you know this answer, Tanya, do not say it out loud because we don't reveal the answer till next week. But way back when in Celtic mythology, there was a fairy creature that resembled a large black cat with a white spot on his chest. And the legend had it, these cats would haunt the Scottish Highlands and sometimes even steal souls. But according to mythology, they would not curse and they would bless any house that was kind enough to leave out a saucer of milk.
Oh, how sweet.
So what were these cats called? I'm going to give you 4 choices and put down your answers. Is it A, Blarney, B, Finnegan cats, C, Sith cats, S-I-T-H, or D, Celtic cats? Again, Blarney cats, Finnegan cats, Sith cats, or Celtic cats? Write down your answers. We're going to be giving away a couple of the packs of we're giving away a 4-pack of In Clover, and we're going to give a couple more of thank you, Jill Thompson, the Onyx Cats, beautiful, cool hats. Casey says I like them when I like to play with them, but I really do appreciate that. So, do you think you have a guess, Tanya? Don't say it, but do you have a good guess?
I think so.
Okay, good. So let's get right into it. I found out about Tanya Alexis when I was doing a little research, and there was a video about cat yoga. And I have taken yoga classes. I'm not the most pliable, but I know the benefits of yoga with your breathing and you're focusing on the now, or as Casey says, me now. And you're not thinking about your cell phone or anything else. You should be there in the present moment. And what attracted me to Tanya is she's got many, many talents. She is, she's a healer. And I'm not talking about the dog that heals on the left side of you, Healer. And we know that these days we need more people like Tanya. She is also a certified Reiki master. She is a yoga instructor. She does photography with pets and with people, but in a good spiritual way. She's got her act together in a very creative way. And one of the other titles, she's a cat mom to two great kitties named Rosie and Mabel. She hails from Los Angeles. We're going to get right into a lot of things, but welcome to the show, Tanya.
Thank you so much for having me and for inviting me and the girls.
Yeah.
They're asleep in the sun. There's one little patch of sun left, and they're both
Yeah.
in it right now.
Oh, and
They
she's
will
in Los
find it.
Angeles, right? Yeah, those are smart cats.
Yeah,
So,
both of them.
I mean, when you try riding that elevator and somebody says, "What do you do?" What would be your secret sentence? What would you say?
That's actually a really good question, because for a long time it would have come out like, I do energy healing, which is not really,
Yeah. Why would you say
which
that?
is not really owning it.
Yeah.
But, but now, like, yes, like I am a healer. I have an online crystal shop. I have the photography that I do that I kind of created to combine both of my energy healing work and my photography work, because I've been a photographer since, like, there's literally photographs of me at the age of 3 with a glowworm under one arm and a camera around my.
Really? Is this
Yeah.
growing up in New Hampshire?
This is actually in just outside of New York City, but eventually probably in New Hampshire too.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, I appreciate you asking that, because 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say it the way that I can say it now, which is something that's really important to have awareness of, is that, like, it's okay to know what you're meant to be doing and still feel like unsure that it's right. But it's also important to understand that it's okay to not know.
Right.
And to then learn to take ownership of it.
Right.
I think one of my favorite quotes was from, I think it was Camus, who said, "To know is to know is to know, but to know what you don't know, that is the true meaning of wisdom."
Yeah, and there's so much truth in that in so many different ways, because, you know, honestly, we learn more from the things that trigger us than we do from the things that don't.
So how has COVID played a role in your profession as a healer? To help
Well,
you?
what's interesting is that I launched my website to start doing this, like, officially in February of 2020.
Oh, great.
So excellent timing on my part.
Yeah. But maybe so though.
But I taught a lot of, because the girls have a pretty prominent presence on social media. And so, you know, I started, I guess in like May of 2020, I started teaching a weekly yoga class and a weekly meditation class, which has now been pared down just to a weekly meditation class. But so it was learning and also explaining to other people how energy, you don't have to be in the same place to actually exchange energy, just like you don't have to be in the same place to have a healing. So explaining to people that you can actually do energy healing virtually, and it's just as powerful as being in the same room as somebody.
Well, we're right here on Meowy Hour, and we have people from all over the world that tune in. And you said, and when we were touching base, you want to give them a gift about an easy way to remember how to be in the present. You want to go ahead and unleash that?
Absolutely. So we have holidays coming up. We have possibly the first opportunity that people are seeing family again after a year not seeing family. Everyone is getting thrown into all of these things that they didn't do last year. And it's maybe exactly a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
So one thing that I have learned that I was taught a long time ago that's incredibly useful is to just take a few moments to ground, because when we are grounded, which means when your spirit is in your body, is when you're grounded and present, it's, well, life is simpler.
Yeah.
But also being present is important, because being present means that you're not running into things, that you're probably not getting into car accidents,
Yep.
that you're being safe, that you're able to enjoy like 5 or 10 minutes of like cuddles with your cat instead of thinking about what you have to do next.
Casey likes that tip the best.
Right?
Yeah.
It's important. So what you can do is wherever you are, and if you're around people, just like excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, take a moment, take a deep breath, put both of your feet, all 4 corners of your feet on the floor.
Okay.
Ground your feet on the floor.
Okay.
Feel the earth underneath your feet. And then close your eyes. You can place your hands face up or face down. If you're trying to ground, like face down is probably better, because it makes you want to be more rooted.
Right.
And you just close your eyes and you take a deep inhale. And with every inhale, you just ask that you're going to bring yourself back into your body. And on the exhale, you just visualize yourself coming back in and expanding back into your body. So taking an inhale and then exhaling, coming back and grounding, and just repeating that over and over again until you feel rooted, until you feel calm. And even in that moment, just doing that, like, it's different.
It is. And I'm laughing in a good way, because you just kicked up his volume of purring. When I was doing the breathing with you, Casey was like, she's listening. Arden's listening to Tanya. And I think that's really important. So what role are they playing with us? Because they are healing.
Oh, a huge role. Like I wonder if I have no idea where it is, unfortunately. But like sometimes if I open my eyes during meditation, sometimes if like Rosie's sitting at the bed right next to me, she'll give me this look like,
yeah,
what are you doing? Meanwhile, Mabel, usually when I meditate in the morning, will oftentimes hop up into my lap and just start purring and just make biscuits and purrs the entire time that I'm meditating.
So talk about them. So what is it? What are they like, their personalities? And what are some things that, if we're lucky to have cats, they can make us better people?
Well,
grounding ourselves.
Rosie is a tiger trapped in the body of a cat.
Okay.
But she's also not really, because she's kind of scared of her own shadow. But at the same time, anytime somebody will come by to pick up crystals or anything, she immediately, her tail is up and she is at the door waiting for them to open the door so that she can walk right out and just be like, oh, you're new. You can pet me. Would you like to pet me? Feel how soft I am. I'm amazing. And so a little bit of like center of attention. She likes to be loved, and she's very confused when she doesn't feel like she's loved.
Aww.
And Mabel is an old god trapped in a cat body.
An old what?
An old god or goddess trapped in a cat body.
Okay.
Like she's my little healer. She and I have conversations all the time about how she can heal Rosie and she can heal other animals, but she can't heal people. Because coincidentally, as a kitten, she had a really bad chewing problem and like eating string or like chewing through anything wool. And after kind of sitting with her and working through that a bunch, we actually got her out of that habit, but it was actually more of an energetic thing in her case than anything else. So it took a little time, but, and Mabel is just an absolute sweetheart, but she understands that like Rosie likes to be the center of attention. So she lets her, but Mabel is still in charge.
All right. Well, I know we can learn a lot from cats. So how did you get Rosie and Mabel, and what are a couple things they've taught you?
Well, so before I had Rosie and Mabel, I had 3 cats for a while, not on purpose. I had 2 cats, and then one cat literally convinced my former landlady that she was going to move in with me. And after I had asked and my landlord had said no, and then Lucy had a conversation with her, and then I had a message on my voicemail saying like, so I talked to Lucy and she told me that she's going to move in with you and I need to respect her wishes. So she moved in with me. And Lucy was my little soulmate. She was the first tortie that I ever had. I didn't even know torties existed before her. Had no clue. And she was literally my little soulmate. And
Wow.
she passed away from, I'm not even sure if it was like cancer. It was like she was hiding a bunch of stuff. And by the time I took her to the doctor, they were like, we don't know if she's going to make it on like through the surgery. And if she does,
Wow.
it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And had a long talk with her. And I didn't want her to go that way. I wanted it to be on her terms and with me. And so after like a long talk, luckily, like I took a week, literally canceled everything that I had.
Good.
And
Good.
she and I just spent the whole week together.
Wow.
And we spent the week cuddling. And like, especially towards the end, she kind of like, she wanted to be outside by herself, or she wanted to be in the bedroom by herself in the sun. So we even, her favorite thing was pizza. So I got pizza like the weekend beforehand. And she literally woke me up in the middle of the night, every night until the last night. And I would have to put the pizza box with the pizza in it, like on a towel on the bed. And she would just sit on the box and purr.
Wow.
Like she was a very spirited, special, wonderful kitty. And there's a reason why, and she's actually the reason that I even started an Instagram for the cats. And the community that we had built up was so kind and so loving and made it so much easier for me
Mm-hmm.
when everything happened. Like, I'm not sure that I could have gone through what I went through without the community that I had.
Well, tell us about Lucy the Tortie Instagram so people can.
So that's how it started. It started with me realizing that Lucy was far too special to be like just my cat. And so that's kind of how it started. And then it just slowly blew up on its own after that. And then I got Mabel a few weeks after Rosie passed. Not Rosie, sorry, after Lucy passed. Rosie is still here and she is very young and she's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
But I got Mabel. So I had gone, I had plans to travel to see my partner at the time. And so it was just my 16-and-a-half-year-old tuxedo who was still around. So she kind of like had her own space for the first time in her life because she was in a feral cat colony when I got her at like 8 weeks old.
Wow. And
then always had at least one, if not two other cats with me.
Mm-hmm.
So she had 2 weeks of the apartment all to herself. And I remember the night before I got Mabel, I actually, in the middle of the night, I woke up and Annabelle was actually under the covers with just her head sticking out like on the pillow next to me. And I was like, you know, we're getting a kitten tomorrow, right? And she was like, I don't know
That's
about
how Casey felt about Rusty.
So I got Mabel at 5 months old, and Mabel made it her mission to be best friends with Annabelle.
Good.
And Annabelle wasn't quite sure how she felt about that, but she kind of caved a little bit. And so Annabelle was around and we got Mabel and Rosie actually from the same rescue from Santa Or, which is a really lovely foundation in Los Angeles.
What is it called?
Santa Or Foundation.
All right. We'll do that.
And yeah, it's a really great rescue. And actually 2 different people, somebody who lived in LA who actually was a former yoga student of mine that we pieced together after.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, yeah, when I would teach yoga, she would come to my yoga class and our cats followed each other on Instagram, and she put 2 and 2 together when she saw a sweatshirt that I was wearing in a photo of Lucy and was like, wait, do we know each other? And we were like,
let's talk about cat yoga, because I always hear about goat yoga.
Yeah.
I just think cats are classier and more flexible, and they don't go nah when you're trying to get a pause.
This is very true. Real quick, and then I'm going to go to cat yoga just because I know that Rosie will be miffed if I don't explain her story too very briefly. This is important. So Annabelle passed away in April.
Okay.
Of just mainly of old age, like under the bed by herself, just like it was her time. And so I had promised Mabel that since she had been such a good nurse to Annabelle that I was going to get her a kitten. And so I got her Rosie.
Oh, nice.
And it took about 4 days for Rosie to win Mabel over. And even though they like play fight a bunch, like they're best friends, like they're always, neither one of them has a sense of personal space. One of them is always on top of the other one or really close to the other one.
That's nice.
And they've been that way since they were babies. So it's really sweet. I've never had a bonded pair before. And even though they're from different moms, they are definitely a bonded pair.
That is very good.
Very sweet. And Rosie, mainly Rosie, but occasionally Mabel, because Mabel is a big fan of yoga, especially whenever I do downward facing dog, coincidentally.
Well, come on, let's talk about downward facing dog. What's the deal? Why can't it be downward facing cat?
Because cat pose is different.
Okay. So tell us, because I think
So there is a cat pose.
Okay.
There is basically any pose where, and coincidentally, the very first photo that I ever posted on Instagram was of Lucy mimicking me doing a pose called chaturanga, right underneath me. And both the girls are completely passed out, so they're probably not going to do anything if I do anything. But I will show cat pose.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
And also, it's kind of in the spirit of the holidays.
Okay.
So I'm going to move this. Ignore the crystals that are all over my floor.
No, they're probably good energy.
Hi, guys.
All right.
Come on, kittens.
Are you ready to do this pose, Kathy? Come on.
I gotta see it first.
A very standard, so 4-point kneeling pose.
Mm-hmm.
You start from a neutral position, and then this is cow pose when you go down.
Cow pose, okay.
And then cat pose is on the exhale, you bring your belly in and up,
Okay.
spread your shoulders nice and wide, and you lower your head. And just moving back and forth like this, actually, this alone is yoga, and it's a really easy way of moving through yoga. And it's a really good way to just move your body, especially if you've been traveling or anything else. And then if you tuck your toes and come back, you're going to come into downward facing dog. And downward facing dog is usually a pose that nobody is going to give me any attention because they are all in the sun.
Yes.
And they're super happy that there's no construction going on.
Yeah.
But usually those are a couple of poses that just like, and the thing is too, is that honestly, even just taking your feet nice and wide and doing this is a very good way to get your cat's attention, because usually they will go in and out of your legs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'll like play with your arms. Like there's so many different ways, right?
But when you're doing that, Tanya, and you are focusing, something about a cat coming up to you, what does that do to your spirit?
Oh, it's just, I mean, it depends on if it's a tail when I'm in a pose that requires a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
Then I might fall down. So it's a good reminder to play, because that's super important. And while we saw Rosie at the beginning, we did not see Mabel yet.
Hey, Mabel.
So this is Mabel.
Mabel is beautiful.
Mabel is beautiful. She has ginger eyebrows and nice ginger legs.
What do you think of that cat, Kathy? Because you're cat coats. What do you think of that coat?
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her eyes. Her eyes just really, just pop with all that black face and the markings. She's very pretty.
And look how relaxed she is with you. You have really reached her soul.
Yeah, you can tell she's very calm.
Yeah. Did she know she's on Meowy Hour? She doesn't care.
She likes to be worshipped.
So Tanya, what if you're not flexible enough to get into some of those poses? What do you recommend for someone to do?
Yeah.
What I recommend is looking for a yoga class that's probably a yoga class for beginners. If you're physically going to a space,
yes,
talking to your teacher and saying, and honestly, I know people that are young that happily prefer going to like the 60+ yoga classes solely because to them, it feels like there's not the same amount of scrutiny that they would get that usually you're putting on yourself. Because the truth is, everyone in class, unless they're a jerk, they don't care what you're doing.
Yeah, they're focusing on themselves.
I personally prefer actually going to yoga classes that don't have mirrors, specifically because it's one less thing. And the thing is and I'm going to show you, there's one other thing that I'm going to show you, because this is really important, which is that just showing up is yoga. Sitting in child's pose for the entire hour of class is technically yoga. So there's something called sun salutations.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through the sun salutations once, but I wanted to show, and it'll take like maybe 2 minutes.
That's
but
fine.
I want to show you.
Yeah, I'm game. Go
But
ahead.
I'm going to show you. So it's 3 different. Let me move this back a little further. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing it.
Okay.
And this is the thing: is that yoga is fluid. Like originally, it was taught for like 12-year-old boys. Most people can't go into a lot of those poses, and that's fine. You don't have to. Like, it's totally fine. But so the sun salutations are great because it's a wide variety. So and each pose is a breath. So you inhale up and then exhale, fold. And you can have your feet wide. You can have them apart. Whatever is in your wheelhouse is fine. Inhale, come halfway up to flat back. It can look like this. It can look like this. All of them are okay. Exhale, plant your hands. And then you're going to step it back to plank. And if you need to, you're going to bring your knees down.
There you go.
Doing this and tucking your toes and coming back into downward dog is great. Or you can bring your knees down and come halfway into what's called chaturanga, and then come all the way down and then up into upward facing dog or cobra. This is cobra. This is upward facing dog. So you can do cobra to downward dog. Or you can go from plank, shifting forward, coming into chaturanga, and then inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward dog.
I think I'd break my nose if I tried that.
But so that's 3 different sets. But the thing is that doing cat cow from here,
Yes.
Yeah, I like the cow to cat and then downward
and then
to
into
dog.
downward dog. That's it. That's great.
But
You
you're
literally-
what's happening inside your body? Because you're doing more purposeful breathing, you're also stretching and you're also doing things to the body that we sit behind a computer all day, right?
Exactly. Sorry.
Oh, we got Wonder Woman back.
Yes. Figured if we have cat, and we have Mabel has now joined. See, this is what happens. So now
Yeah.
Yes.
she's on the yoga mat. Mabel.
Well, I'm ready now.
The sunshine has moved on. Now
Yeah.
it's time to yoga.
So, you know, cats.
Yeah. So let's talk about your crystals, because you have started a whole crystal line, and I want people to go. It's Embrace the Light. Is that right? The name of your company?
Yeah, embracethelight.co. So the
Okay.
no M at the end.
Okay.
Is the website, and I just launched it like 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And so I'm still adding crystals to it, but I think that here, do you want to, hey, are we going to show some support?
Yes, please. Come on, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Do you want to, what do you think of that one?
Rosie,
Yeah.
what do you think?
She's
Talk
rubbing
about
on it.
crystals, because
So,
some people may not know
Yeah,
what
so
Fan.
tell me why do I want crystals in my life? What are they going to do for me?
Okay. So the same way that honestly that animals and that plants can zen you out, crystals kind of do the same thing. It's of the earth. It's oftentimes very grounding. It's very earth energy, even though there are some crystals that can make you go like, wee. Like a lot of crystals, it's the same thing as like, it's like, I always jokingly was like, it's like having earth in your house that you can't kill. Like,
I like that.
you know, like plants, you can kind of, if you neglect them enough and if they're dramatic enough, like they can go. But crystals are much easier to keep track of. So they're different in the sense of like, let me see. I have a couple of things right by me, so I'm just going to go off of these. So I have something called pink amethyst, and pink amethyst is really lovely. Like,
It's
these are just
beautiful.
little ones.
Yeah.
So the thing about pink amethyst, or one of the things about pink amethyst, is that energetically, ignore the trash can outside. It's not a jackhammer.
Yeah, she's some construction by her, and so keep going, pink amethyst lady, go for it.
So pink amethyst is really great as a reminder, or like a talisman is another thing that crystals are really good for. So when you have pink amethyst is great for kindness, for compassion, for self-love. It's a really good reminder to be kind to yourself and to treat yourself the way that you would treat others.
Okay.
Because oftentimes, more than not, we are incredibly hard on ourselves. And if we were in a situation that like one of our closest friends was in, we would never talk the way that we talk to ourselves to our friend.
That's true.
Because they probably wouldn't be our friend anymore.
Right.
Like,
all right. So I like the power of the pink amethyst. What's another different crystal?
well, so another one would be one that's fun too, just because it's so chrysocolla and malachite
Okay.
is another one. And this specific one comes from, and malachite's really cool because it has all these different like patterns on it that are natural. Like nature made this. Nature made these colors.
Yes.
Which
Wow.
which is bananas when you think about it. Like those greens and the blues. And so malachite is known as the traveler's stone. It's a really great stone of protection. It also, chrysocolla and malachite, both of them, we have more, but technically there's 7 general chakras that we have that run up and down our body, starting with our root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. And then there's some other ones, but main ones. And so one of the things that malachite and chrysocolla do is if you sit and you meditate with them, they can help support you as you clean out. Because like the same way that like, that you do the dishes, or that you do, you keep up with stuff, or you keep up with like your routines that need to happen that are day-to-day life. Like we are balls of energy, right? And balls of energy pick up stuff different ways. And sometimes they just pick everything up around them. And so you can go out and you come home and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. And especially people that are empathetic, and especially people that like cats tend to be, or dogs tend to be empathetic people, because you connect to the animals on a different level. And so when you are very empathetic, you tend to absorb everyone else's stuff around you. And then you wonder why you feel like garbage.
Well, I do know that cats and dogs are very good healers for us. And I'm just thinking the malachite, we've got a lot of folks tuning in that go to cat shows and they travel with their cats. Maybe they might need a little malachite energy.
Malachite's great. Selenite is really great for that. Selenite is, let me grab a piece of selenite. Oh, that's a huge one. This is a small one. Hold on. Selenite is a really great stone. It is kind of breakable, so you want to be a little bit careful with it, but it can come even in smaller pieces. Selenite is great because it's actually self-clearing. So if you wanted to put like other crystals on it, because crystals, like people, absorb energy. So it's important to kind of like, even if it's just setting the attention of like, I would like to let go of anything that doesn't belong to the stone. But you can also place it on selenite for a day or so, and then it'll be nice and shiny and sparkly. But my favorite thing of all time to do with selenite is if you keep a piece of selenite by your door, is to do this when you get home, and to just set the intention that you are letting go of anything that you might have picked up along your
not a glass of wine, right? It's a selenite.
Selenite and then wine. It depends on the day.
And I know a lot of people have quartz. So quartz, what's the
quartz is great.
Quartz?
So quartz is actually a lot of fun, because clear quartz especially is called the master healer. And clear quartz, one of the things that clear quartz does is it allows you to kind of to set an intention and put it into the quartz. It also, clear quartz can be used as an amplifier so that it amplifies whatever is around it. So if you have it next to like a piece of rose quartz, for example, you can say, I would like this quartz to amplify the energy of rose quartz. And rose quartz is all about self-love. It's about being surrounded by that feeling of love and support. And so that's one way that you can use clear quartz. Also, just a really basic tip while we're on it about intentions and manifesting is that the best way to manifest and the best way to set intentions is to really feel it, and not feel it from like a, oh, that would be nice if, but to feel it in your being like it already exists.
Wow, that's
Which is
pretty profound what you just said.
which is a challenging, speaking from experience, can be challenging. But once you really do it, and it can even be as simple as like, you know, setting the intention that like, that the next cat that comes into my life, I'm going to have a deep and special bond with.
Okay.
And you can think about it like, and the way that you can do it is be like, okay, well, I know that especially, well, also with Rosie and Mabel, but especially with Lucy that we talked about before, is that I had a really special bond with her. So setting the intention that like, I would just love to bring a cat in that I love and that loves me, and who we have just the most loving, nurturing relationship with each other, and really feeling what that feels like and allowing yourself to sit in that feeling. And then maybe once a day, like just take 30 seconds and come back to that feeling and feel it again, and then let it go. And that's the other tricky part too, is that it's not just like, oh, well, I'm just going to put it in the back of my head and still kind of think about it the whole day, as opposed to being like this is a really good example. So there's a fantastic kitty whose name is Fluffy that we know from Australia. Coincidentally, she is like a tabby calico, not surprisingly, like Rosie. So I saw Fluffy and was like, if I get another cat, I want it to look like Fluffy. And there's this other kitty in Pennsylvania named Oliver that we adore, who is an orange and white super fluffy kitty, who's a
boys.
insane, like completely insane, but like in the most loving way, insane. And I was like, if I get a cat, when I get a cat from Mabel, like I get that it doesn't have to be for me, but I would love it to have the personality of Oliver and look like Fluffy. And I literally got and I totally forgot that I had said that. And like 4 or 5 months after I had Rosie, all of a sudden I saw like photos of the two of them in like a row on Instagram or something, and was like, oh my God, it was like, it worked.
Holy chakra.
Exactly. But I forgot. And that's the thing, is like, you genuinely have to forget, not like forget, but like let it go. And truthfully, like letting go and forgetting are not that far off. So like getting in the habit of being like, oh, you know, what would be really nice is if this happened, and then taking a moment and feeling it and then letting it go.
I like that. I like that. I mean, I think we need to clone you, Tanya, because a lot of us have faced a lot of challenges the last couple of years. And I think it's time to start self-healing, start to look at things that we can make ourselves better. We have a little bit of time left because we're going to do a Somali.
Yeah.
But can you stick around, because I want you to talk. We got Kathy right now is going to talk about the Somali breed, which is one of her favorites. So she put that out in the universe. But I've been really impressed with you, Tanya. So take it away, Kathy.
Okay, so let's talk about the Somali cat. The Somali is a long-haired cousin to the Abyssinian, and nobody really knows exactly how the long-haired gene was introduced into the Abyssinian gene pool. It probably happened during World War II. There were a lot of Abbey breeders. The Abyssinian breed was very popular during that time in Europe. And so, you know, they couldn't travel a lot. There was a world war going on. The cats got out and bred, no telling what all. So we think that's where the long-haired gene came from. The breed was named by a woman named Evelyn Magoo. She's actually who I got my first breeding female from. She named the breed, and she did it tongue-in-cheek, because the long-haired variant of the Abyssinian was not accepted at all when they first started bringing them into the show hall. In fact, they were quite chastised, and it was very difficult to get the breed accepted. She was trying to think of a name, and she thought about ancient Abyssinia next to Somalia, and thought, I'm going to call the breed Somali because it's equal, you know, very similar to ancient to Somalia. And so that's how she got the name. There were a few breeders, one in Canada, one on the West Coast, and Evelyn was on the East Coast, and they all worked very hard to get the breed accepted. It comes in 4 colors. They're called ruddy, red, blue, and fawn. And some people desire to have what they call a rainbow litter. I never wanted a rainbow litter, but you know, some people, that was their goal. And so here's all 4 colors as little baby kittens. The ruddy is on the right, the fawn is next to it, the red is in the middle on the left, and the blue is on the far left. But let's look at them as more their adult colors. So this is the ruddy. It has a burnt sienna undercoat with black banding throughout each hair, with the darkest being on the tip. They have the M on the forehead, but they're not supposed to have the tabby barring anywhere else. So we don't want necklaces, bracelets on the legs, rings on the tail. They're semi-long haired, so they have more ruff around the neck, the breeches, and the full tail, but not a lot of hair real long on the body. This is the ruddy color. The red is a more of a chocolate ticking on that burnt sienna undercoat. So you can see there's no black anywhere on this cat. It's more of a dark chocolate coloration. The blue is the dilute of the ruddy. So we take the black and turn it blue. And they have this warm oatmeal undercoat color with that slate blue ticking. And then the fawn is the dilute of the red. So it's more of an apricot color with the lighter ticking and the full breeches. I love the breeches on this cat, and the full brush to the tail. Just some funny pictures of my own cats from way back when. This was my first litter. They were all ready. I caught those 2. I call this kung fu fighting. They were wrestling with each other. My second litter was all red. This is the candy bar litter with Kit Kat, Snickers, Mars, and Kit Kat, Snickers, Mars. I forgot the 4th one. Anyway, and a little kitten. So anyway, that's just a quick discussion about the Somali breed. And Tanya, you said that you actually follow a Somali pretty closely.
Yes, there is a really lovely kitty on Instagram named Summer. I think her Instagram is just Summer Travels, and she actually is a therapy cat. And I think she's a show kitty as well.
Her
retired, right?
Janice Garza, and they have both been on our show, Summer and Janice. You picked a great Somali to follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Casey likes Summer too. He gave her his phone number, but she hasn't called him back yet.
She's come to some shows just to show Summer off. I don't think she actually exhibits Summer, but she has been to shows before.
I think it's
just to let everybody meet Summer. Yeah.
So Kathy, thank you for doing that. And I love, because we always learn something new about a different breed. We on Meowy Hour salute all cats, the purebreds and cats like Casey and Mabel and Rosie. So can you tell us a little bit about the CCW?
Sure. So actually I had someone kind of ask me a few questions about this, and we're going to be talking about how to show
this might be something good for you,
CCW cat. Yeah, in the future. But CCW is Companion Cat World. It's CFA's program to recognize the non-pedigreed cat. These cats can be feral cats that you feed. It could be your beloved cat that's that you're sitting on your lap. It could be any cat for a one-time fee of $13. And if you upload a picture when you do the registration, you'll get a lovely big plastic credit card-like card with your cat's picture and your cat's information and your information. Also comes in luggage tags and key rings. As you go on our gallery of cats, you can check it all out at cfa.org/CCW, and 10% of your registration fee goes to a local shelter. So
10% goes to a shelter.
So CCW is all of the cats. A subset of that is the household pet competition, and we're going to be talking about that as our breed profile at a future upcoming Meowy Hour episode.
All right, Tanya.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about taking a cat first aid class?
I have not, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
So what I do for all my guests that come on my show, I teach it through Zoom. I'm a master pet first aid instructor. Look at my 2 other teachers there, Tanya. That's Katie with Rusty, the performer.
Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty. You like Rusty?
Rusty looks a lot like my friend Desmond, who a very dear friend of mine, and in LA whose name is Samantha Bell, who's a cat behaviorist. She has 3 of the sweetest cats in the world, and one of them is named Desmond, and Desmond and Rusty are very good friends.
Well, I'll send you a note, but I always want to give comp the class to anybody that's a guest on our show. So we do a 3-hour, you get a 2-year certification. We have fun, you learn, but I also have Casey and Rusty, and you get to have Mabel and Rosie at your house. So I'll send you the dates, but our last class for 2021 for cats is going to be December 14th. And it's going to be from 5 to 8 Central, which would be 3 to 6 your time, LA. Yes. I'll send you that information. Otherwise, you can go on Pet First Aid for You, any of you. And we've got some classes lined up for January and February. If you have dogs, Destiny. We also have a 4.5-hour class I teach that includes my dog, pet safety dog, Kona, with Casey. And the next class available is November 13th. So we really hope to see you in those classes. We've got about 5 minutes left. So in honor of the Somali, in honor of Tanya, in honor of Mabel, Rosie, Casey, Destiny, all the great sentient beings out there, I came up with a drink just for the fall. I call it the Sensational Somali Pumpkin Martini. What do you think, Tanya? That's a good name?
I think it's a good name. Rosie's a little disappointed that it wasn't named after her.
I know, Rosie, you're going to inspire me for another one. But we want to usher in pumpkin season with this savory drink. It's really easy. You take a cocktail shaker and you put ice in it, and then you put 2 ounces of vodka, which is an 8 count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you're going to add 2 ounces of heavy cream. And by the way, Manners, I must have, that wonderful graphic was produced by our buddy, Teresa Kiger. Thank you, Teresa. Oh yeah, Casey's all happy now because I'm adding cream.
Yeah, he didn't care about the vodka, but the cream is something else.
And then
I'll lick that clean for you, Mama.
I'll help you, Ma. And then you want a 1/2 ounce, a 2 count of maple syrup. 1, 2. Now this sounds wild, but you want to get pumpkin. He likes pumpkin too. Pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie stuffing, because that has too much sugar in it. And you want to put a tablespoon of that, a little bit of
vanilla
extract, and then you want to get a pinch. Oh, I'll put that at the end. All right, and then you want to give a good shake. It's in here, Casey. The milk is in here.
He says, I'll lick that pumpkin spoon for you too, Mom.
Now, I took some maple syrup on a paper plate and swirled the top of this glass, and then I put crushed graham cracker on top of it. And so
that's interesting. Okay.
You pour your pumpkin concoction in here, and then you dollop it with a little bit, spritz of pumpkin spice. So, what do you think, guys? At this time,
that's perfect for this nice cool day we're having today.
Casey goes, "Ooh, I'm so close." At this time, everybody, let's raise a glass and let us toast to all cats. We're talking purebreds, kitties like Casey, community cats, feral cats, all cats, because they make us better humans. Everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
This is better than eggnog, guys. Trust me. It's better than eggnog.
That is like a pumpkin latte.
It's a pumpkin latte that doesn't cost you $1 zillion and has less sugar.
And there's no coffee in it.
Yeah. Hey, at this time, I really want to do a shout out and give a pause and applause to our very special guest. She is an incredible healer on so many different platforms. I want you to go to embracethelight.co. Please check out Tanya Alexis. And we also want to give a shout out to Mabel, Rosie, and the late, great Lucy. So thank you so much for being on our show, Tanya.
It was a pleasure. I did. Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to give a shout out to my co-host. Can't do this without her, Kathy Black, and Destiny. Come on, Destiny, wakey, wakey. And Casey goes, can I have a little little of that cream after the show? Maybe. We want to thank the Cat Fancier Association and, of course, our sponsor, Clover, the maker of cat and dog supplements. Hey, guys, next week, we have an award-winning artist and writer by the name of Bernadette Kazmarski. Yep, going to be on the show. So until next time, you know the drill. Same cat channel, same cat time. We'll see you on Meowy Hour. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Do some kitty yoga poses. Casey says out.